Welcome to Don Felder's quiet Florida farm, where the air feels soft, the mornings open with bird song, and life moves at a gentle, unhurried pace. This is the place where the Eagles' legendary guitarist steps away from the spotlight and finds the kind of peace only open fields and steady routines can offer. Today, we step inside that sanctuary to see how he lives, what grounds him, and why this serene corner of Florida has become the heart of his world. A quiet street in Gainesville once held a small house where a young Don Felder discovered the first spark of the life he would one day build, not through privilege or training, but through the simple miracle of a guitar placed in his hands. A Florida morning in 1947, where a boy named Don Felder grew up in Gainesville with little more than a second-hand guitar and a stubborn belief that music could change his life. His family could not afford lessons, so young Don slowed down tape recordings and trained his ear note by note. The sound became his teacher, and the guitar became the place where he felt most at home. By high school, he had formed his first band, the Continentals, and worked at a small music school run by a Berkeley graduate. The job paid little, but it gave him access to theory, technique, and a world far larger than his own. He taught guitar after graduation, giving lessons to local kids, including a quiet teenager named Tom Petty. Every hour spent teaching strengthened his own craft, and every small step connected him to the life waiting beyond Gainesville. In the late 1960s, he tasted his first success with the Mondi Quintet. Their single received airplay across north-central Florida, but like many young bands, they burned bright and faded fast. When the group dissolved, Don packed his guitar and left for New York, where clubs were loud, jobs were scarce, and reinvention was mandatory. He performed with the improvisational group Flow, recorded an experimental album, then followed opportunity to Boston to work in a small studio. The pay was modest, the hours long, but he was learning how songs were built from the inside out. By 1973, Los Angeles called Don joined David Blue's touring band, opening shows for Crosby and Nash, and Neil Young at the Roxy Theater. Between rehearsals, he would occasionally jam with an up-and-coming group called the Eagles one day. They asked him to add slide guitar to Good Day in Hell. The chemistry was immediate. The invitation to join the band soon followed. As the Eagles shifted from country rock toward a fuller, harder sound, Don became one of the architects of their identity. His guitar lines shaped one of these nights. His voice carried visions. And in a rented house in Malibu, he wrote the opening progression to what would become their defining anthem, Hotel California. The song changed everything. Fame soared. Pressure mounted. The world was listening, and the band began to fracture under the weight. Tensions rose through the recording of The Long Run, and by 1980, the partnership collapsed in a storm of anger, exhaustion, and broken trust. When the band split, Don stepped away from the spotlight. He focused on his family, worked as a session guitarist for artists like Diana Ross and Stevie Nicks, and released his first solo album, Airborne. There were setbacks, missed opportunities, and moments of doubt. But each quiet stretch pulled him back to the reason he began playing in the first place, the love of creating something honest. His later albums, Road to Forever and American Rock and Roll, came from that place of reflection. He toured on his own terms, collaborated with musicians he admired, and chose a life built around steadiness rather than spectacle. Even as the Eagles reunited in later years, Don found his own path, performing across America with REO, Speedwagon, and Styx, carrying with him the same disciplined fire he had as a boy in Gainesville. And looking back on that journey, it's clear, Don Felder wasn't looking for the limelight. He was just pursuing his true music. And that's what led him to the peaceful life he has today. Now, let's step into that place of silence, the Florida home where Don found peace after all the journey. Let us step inside. Florida Farm, the simple beauty of country living. Tucked behind long rows of green hedges in the quiet Florida countryside, this 45-acre ranch is a peaceful, down-to-earth retreat. The main house, about 2,800 square feet with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, sits calmly at the center of the open land. The gravel driveway curves through wide pasture under the big Florida sky, and the long, screened porch wraps around the home like a soft layer of shade, giving the whole place a slow, gentle feeling that never seems to rush. As you walk toward the entrance, the garden stays simple and natural. Open grass, a few native plants, and the clean shape of the house stand quietly against the field. The path is covered in small tan stones that crunch lightly under your feet, leading you up the wooden steps and onto the wraparound porch. This porch is one of the home's best features. Wooden beams, a metal roof, and screens running the entire length create a breezy outdoor living room. You can easily picture quiet mornings here, watching sunlight move across the land. When you step through the double wooden doors, the living room feels warm right away. A large stone fireplace, built with rough earth-tone blocks, adds weight and character to the space. Soft, simple furniture sits around it, inviting you to sit down and relax. Tall windows bring in natural light from the fields, making the room bright, but still cozy. Wooden floors run through the whole house, giving everything the same grounded, natural feel. The kitchen sits just beyond the living room. It is built for everyday comfort, not show. Granite counters wrap around a large island, and natural wood cabinets keep the warm ranch style. Pendant lights give the kitchen a soft glow in the evening. Through the windows you can see the pasture and barns, a reminder that this is a real working ranch. It is easy to imagine someone making morning coffee here before heading out to check the animals. Down a separate hallway, the bedrooms stay calm and private. The primary bedroom is open and airy, with large windows looking out over the field. The colors are soft, beige, cream, light green, with a patterned rug warming the wooden floor. The room feels like a quiet place to rest after a long day. The other 2 bedrooms follow the same simple style, perfect for family or guests. The primary bathroom is especially charming. A white clawfoot bathtub stands beside stone walls, and the walk-in shower uses the same stone for a natural look. Bronze fixtures give a soft, rustic touch. Sunlight fills the room and reflects off the granite double sinks, making the space feel like a small, peaceful spa. Toward the back of the house, you step into the big entertainment area under the covered patio. It feels like an outdoor lodge. Wooden ceiling, ceiling fans, stone walls, and an outdoor fireplace. There is plenty of space for dinners, small gatherings, and quiet evenings. From here you look directly at the butterfly-shaped pool, protected by a tall, screened enclosure. The clear blue water shines under the Florida sun, making this corner feel like a private little resort. It is easy to imagine morning coffees, afternoon swims, or slow conversations around the fire. Past the pool, the ranch opens wide. There are barns, sheds, storage areas, and fenced pastures where horses and donkeys wander slowly across the grass. A small pond sits at the far end of the land, surrounded by old oaks draped with moss. The whole property feels quiet, open, and untouched. A place made for breathing deeper and living simply. And in the end, when you look out from the house across the open fields, it becomes clear why this place feels so special. It is not meant to show off, but simply to remind you that life can be calm, quiet, and genuinely beautiful when everything slows down. From the serenity of this ranch, we explore a completely opposite space, a luxurious Beverly Hills mansion amidst the city lights. Beverly Hills Mansion. Arriving on Walden Drive, the house is almost hidden behind mature olive trees, tall palms, and layers of greenery wrapping around the property. The facade is soft and understated, the kind of privacy only classic Spanish estates in the Beverly Hills flats can offer. Once you open the iron gate, a stone courtyard unfolds with a vintage sculptural fountain at the center and vines climbing up the arched colonnade, making you feel more like you are stepping into a European villa than a home in the middle of Beverly Hills. Walking from the courtyard inside, a long hallway with exposed wooden beams and curved glass doors opens onto a sunlit patio. Handcrafted saltillo tile floors glow in warm earthy tones, and natural light floods the space through the large arched doors. A carved wooden console, sculptural accents, and fresh greenery create a gentle, welcoming atmosphere the moment you enter. The living room is grand yet warm, with a tall pitched wooden ceiling supported by thick beams. A large skylight pours sunlight onto the rustic wooden coffee table, the soft cream sofas, and the light beige rug below. A beautifully carved stone fireplace anchors the room, a place where Don Felder often sat with his guitar, adjusting tones or simply enjoying a rare quiet moment away from his touring schedule. Beside it is the formal dining room, defined by a hand-painted coffered ceiling and an elegant wrought iron chandelier. Arched doors open directly to the vine-covered patio, where outdoor sofas sit beneath a canopy of leafy branches. Sunlight filters through the vines, creating shifting patterns on the terracotta tiles. A space so idyllic you instantly want to sit down and linger. The kitchen blends rustic charm with modern comfort. Natural wood cabinetry lines both sides, granite countertops provide generous workspace, and professional-grade appliances make the room functional and refined. A window behind the sink frames the surrounding greenery, and the small breakfast nook gathers warm morning light. One of Felder's favorite spots to begin the day. On the lower floor, the study carries a quieter, contemplative tone. With a stone fireplace, wooden beams, and art-lined walls, it is the kind of room an artist retreats to for writing, reading, or preparing for a performance. The entertainment area nearby brings a livelier energy. A coffered wood ceiling, olive built-in shelves, a central billiards table, and a cozy TV lounge. French doors stretch along the entire wall, opening to the garden and flooding the room with light. A small wood-paneled elevator, warm, vintage, and intimate, takes you to the upper level, where the primary suite opens like a private sanctuary. The bedroom is expansive and bright, with multiple French doors leading to a long balcony overlooking the courtyard. Dark hardwood floors shine under the natural light, while a curved sofa, reading chair, and stone fireplace complete the room's serene atmosphere. The primary bathroom is one of the home's signature Spanish features. A deep soaking tub sits beneath a sweeping green-tiled arch, while navy and gold mosaic trim adds richness and character. The double vanity is carved from wood with intricate detail, and the skylight above illuminates the space like a private spa inside a European resort. The guest rooms upstairs are just as charming, with built-in wooden desks, vintage-style windows, and soft, calming decor. The guest bathrooms carry unique Spanish touches: green tile floors, arched shower entrances trimmed in deep blue tile, marble countertops, and vintage mirrors framed in gold. Downstairs, the private gym and wellness room features hand-woven natural rugs, full cabinetry, clean lighting, and a spa-like calm shelves lined with neatly rolled towels complete the peaceful, wellness-inspired atmosphere. Stepping into the backyard, the estate opens into a wide green lawn bordered by Spanish arches wrapped in vines. At the center sits a tiled fountain, its water shimmering under the sun. Terracotta pots line the walkways, olive trees sway lightly in the breeze, and the blend of white stucco walls and red clay roof tiles paints the perfect Spanish revival picture. In the late afternoon, when the sun drops behind the arches, the entire garden glows with a soft golden light. A moment Felder often said made him feel as if the world outside had completely disappeared. From the gate to the very last stone arch, this 1926 Spanish mansion not only preserves its original character, but also holds a quiet, soulful elegance. the kind of home that reflects the gentle, grounded rhythm of the life Don Felder has always valued. How do you feel about this house? Comment below and let us know. And now, we move to the vehicles that have accompanied his ranch life, each one carrying its own rhythm, from simple to steady. Car collection. The first car that truly fits Don's quieter Florida rhythm is the Chevrolet Silverado High Country. Inside the cabin, soft leather seats, warm wood paneling, and a softly lit central display create a quiet space like a small control room, where Don clearly feels every vibration of the engine as the car rolls slowly through the rain-soaked fields. It runs with a 6.2-liter V8 engine, roughly 420 horsepower, towing strength that pulls without strain, and a current value around $65,000. The engine lets out a deep, steady note that settles into the air. The second car belongs to the part of his life that still touches the stage. A Mercedes-Benz S-Class S580 built for long highway drives and nights arriving at theaters with a calm, polished presence. He first drove it on a trip to Tampa for a show, with a close friend riding shotgun and old Eagles riffs humming from the speakers. The moment he settled into the leather seat, the world outside felt softer, almost cushioned, as if the car understood the years he spent chasing sound across cities. Valued at nearly $125,000, the car was like a silent companion, taking him through long journeys with a smooth and luxurious feel. His cars are as simple as the way he keeps his pace of life, creating a true slice of a man who chose peace as life's ultimate reward. And now, let's learn about the fortune he has worked hard to build over decades. Income and net worth. The money story of Don Felder begins in the most unexpected place, a tiny early contract worth $50 for a weekend gig in Gainesville. It was almost nothing, but it was the first time music paid him back, the spark that set everything in motion. From that small amount, the numbers grew into something far larger than he ever imagined, eventually forming the $60 million net worth he holds today. The turning point came in 1974, when Don joined the Eagles. His income shifted from small show payments to steady touring salary, songwriting commissions, and record royalties. The biggest piece was songwriting. Co-writing Hotel California meant lifetime earnings, performance royalties, radio play, global reissues, streaming, and soundtrack placements. That single song alone became a financial backbone, helping him build a stable life, buy land, and invest without fear of losing everything. Touring added another strong layer. Every stadium show brought in salary shares, and at the band's peak, each member earned six-figure guarantees per tour leg merchandising, and live album bonuses pushed the total even higher. Don's style, the double-neck guitar, the fluid solos, became part of the image people were paying to see, and that image quietly generated its own income through live recordings, DVD releases, and continued fan demand. Beyond the Eagles, Don opened new streams. His solo albums may not have matched the band's scale, but they delivered publishing royalties and steady checks from film and television. His work on the heavy metal soundtrack, for example, still generates residual income every time the film airs or the music is reused. Collaborations with artists like Stevie Nicks and Diana Ross added session fees and co-writer splits, small on their own but consistent over the years. Then came the business side, the part of his career that quietly expanded his fortune long after the spotlight dimmed. Book royalties from heaven and hell, speaking engagements, and selective advertising partnerships with music education programs and guitar makers all stacked into a steady, dependable stream. His memoir in particular turned into a slow-burning financial success, generating ongoing royalties and international licensing income year after year. And when the big touring checks were still flowing, he invested wisely. Real estate, stable market assets, and long-term holdings that transformed short bursts of tour money into lasting security. All those years, The early grind, the Eagles chapter, the steady flow of royalties shaped the calm, steady life he has today. Long nights and careful choices built a future where he can finally breathe with ease. From his current success, he has done meaningful things with a loving heart, opening up quiet but humane actions. Philanthropy. One of his most meaningful commitments has been supporting music programs for children who cannot afford instruments or lessons. Over the years, he has donated more than $500,000 to youth music foundations across Florida and California. He partnered with organizations like Music Will and the Grammy Foundation, helping fund instruments, workshops, and scholarships. Another cause close to his heart is disaster relief. After hurricanes Irma and Michael, Don donated more than $250,000 to rebuilding efforts through the Red Cross and local community funds. He has also been a steady supporter of veterans organizations. Don's father served in the military, and the discipline, sacrifice, and silence of that life shaped the way Don understood duty. Through the Wounded Warrior Project and multiple local veteran groups, he has funded more than $150,000 in therapy programs, housing support, and music-based rehabilitation. In recent years, he has focused on education. Don knows what it feels like to grow up without resources, so he quietly funds school supplies, arts programs, and small scholarships in his hometown. Each year, he contributes roughly $50,000 to Gainesville schools. All these contributions show a man who chooses to give with his heart rather than with his words. For Don, doing good is not an event. It is a habit of living. From those silent acts of kindness, let's learn about his private world, where he finds the deepest peace in the simple and gentle rhythm of everyday life. Personal life. Don Felder now lives a peaceful and steady life in Florida, far removed from the noise of stages and touring schedules. Each morning, he steps outside for a slow walk across his wide piece of land, taking in the fresh air and letting the quiet help him ease into the day. He once shared a simple line on Instagram that reflects his mindset now. Grateful for every note, every chord, every moment. It is a gratitude not for big crowds, but for the small moments that shape his daily life. Family remains the center of his world. His 4 children visit often, especially Leah, who now has a family of her own with Brandon Jenner. Whenever they gather at the ranch, the house fills with life again. Laughter in the kitchen, kids running across the porch, soft music playing in the background. Don enjoys sitting quietly, listening to his children share their work, their worries, and the little joys in their lives. He does not need anything grand. Seeing his family close and happy is enough. He keeps a small circle of close friends, a few musicians, neighbors, and longtime companions he deeply trusts. Sometimes they spend an afternoon on the porch, talking about new music, small changes in their lives, or an old story that resurfaces out of nowhere. On Instagram, Don occasionally posts moments with his guitar, paired with simple captions about creativity. Once, he shared a photo playing guitar with the hashtag World Creativity Day, a small moment that shows how connected he remains to music, even without the stage lights. In recent years, he has embraced gentler hobbies, tending to native plants around his home, reading more, often history or books about creativity, and playing guitar every day. He does not play to perform anymore. It is simply a habit that keeps him balanced. Sometimes he records a short melody on his phone and jokes that it will probably never be released, but he enjoys making them too much to stop. His travels now follow a slower rhythm, too. Short, simple, and meaningful. He flies to California to visit his children, sometimes staying long enough to watch his grandchildren's school shows. At other times, he attends music events or charity programs only when they truly matter to him. Each time he returns to Florida, the quiet of the ranch feels even more comforting. Evenings are gentle and uncomplicated, A warm, home-cooked meal, a movie, or a few quiet minutes on the porch listening to the wind move through the trees. He no longer seeks attention or headlines. What he chooses is the life he has now. Slow, steady, surrounded by the people he loves, and filled with small but meaningful moments. His life has taken him through bright stages, iconic hits, and dramatic turning points. But all of it ultimately led him here. A peaceful life that feels complete, simple but deeply meaningful. It is the kind of peace a person only finds after a long journey. If you want to continue exploring the homes, stories, and quiet chapters behind the lives of music legends, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Many more stories are waiting for you.